You're walking and then you see it before anyone else does. A small space hidden between ordinary buildings. Most people will walk past it, but you don't, because in your mind, it's already something more. You can already see it. Warm lights, glass displays, carefully crafted cakes that people will remember for the rest of their lives. Not just a shop, a dream. You take the risk, you pour in all your savings. Long nights, early mornings, failures, then small victories. Until one day, the ovens are running, customers walking, and your dream becomes real. You build something honest, a reputation, a life. Your work isn't just baking, it's art. Each cake says something, celebrates something, means something. And then, on summer day in 2012, the doors open. Two men walking, Charlie Craig and David Mullins. They are excited, they are planning a wedding celebration. For a custom cake, at first, it's just another order, another moment to create something meaningful. But then, they tell you, it's for a same-sex wedding.
Emotional damage! I will send you.
That moment, that single request didn't stop there. It became the center of a constitutional battle in the Supreme Court of the United States, a case that will divide a nation, a case that forced judges, lawyers, and ordinary people to ask, can the government force someone to create something against their beliefs? This is the true story behind one of the most controversial modern legal cases, Masterpiece Cakeshop Limited versus Colorado Civil Rights Commission. Before we put this story in the oven, I am Achachi, and on this channel we explore real-life court cases and shocking stories behind them. And before we continue, thank you. We just reached 60 subscribers. It may seem small, but it really means a lot. If you are new here, welcome. If you missed the first video, be sure to check it out after this. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss stories and analysis like this. Now, back to the story, and in this story, it all started with one small decision by Jack Phillips. Jack Phillips paused, not out of anger and certainly not out of hate, but because of something deeper weighing on his conscience. He was a Christian, and his beliefs shaped the way he lived and worked. To him, marriage was a sacred union between a man and a woman. That conviction wasn't something he turned on and off. It guided even the work of his hands. So he chose his words carefully. He wanted to be respectful. He wanted to be clear. He told them they were welcome in his shop. He would gladly sell them anything on display: cookies, pastries, and even pre-made cakes. They would be treated like any other customer who walked through his door. But when it came to creating custom wedding cake for that ceremony, he knew he couldn't say yes. Not because of who they were, not because of any personal dislikes, but because, in his mind, designing that cake will be more than just baking. It will be an expression, something that carried a message he didn't believe he could support, and that was a line he felt he couldn't cross. There was a brief pause after he spoke. No raised voices, no arguments in that moment. They left quietly, but the moment didn't end there. Soon after, a complaint was filed with the Colorado Civil Rights Commission. They claimed that Philip violated the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, a law requiring businesses open to public to serve customers without discrimination based on their sexual orientation.
This case is not about artistic freedom. We didn't ask for a piece of art. We were simply turned away because of who we were. We were publicly humiliated for who we were. This case isn't about religion, and it isn't about freedom of speech. All of these things are protected. But when you open a business to the public, you must serve the public equally.
Yes. Before we begin with our questioning, you're allowed to make a statement. Would you like to do so?
The Bible's teachings have, certain parameters on what marriage is, and when two young men came in and wanted me to make a cake for their same-sex wedding, I had to decline, not turning them away or discriminating against them in any way, but just declining to make the cake for that wedding and being forced to participate in an event, a religious event, that violates my faith.
The state investigated him and ultimately ruled against him. Philip was ordered to provide wedding cakes for same-sex couples, retrain his staff, and submit regular compliance reports. But to Philip, this wasn't just service. This was expression. He believed his cakes were artistic, and being forced to create one felt like being forced to speak. He appealed. The Colorado Courts of Appeals sided with the state. They said this was business conduct, not protected speech. But he kept going all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Court today, because I respectfully declined to create a custom cake that would celebrate a view of marriage in direct conflict with my faith's core teaching on marriage. I offered to sell the two gentlemen suing me anything else in my shop, or to design a cake for them for another occasion. For that decision, which was guided by an established set of religious beliefs, I've endured a 5-year court battle. It's been very hard on me and my family. There have been tears and many difficult days for us. We've faced death threats and harassment. I've had to stop creating the wedding cake art that I love, which means we've lost much of our business. So much so that now we're struggling to pay our bills and keep the shop afloat. It's hard to believe that the government is forcing me to choose between providing for my family and employees and violating my relationship with God. That is not freedom. That is not tolerance.
All rise. The Honorable, the Chief Justice and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. Oyez, oyez, oyez. All persons having business before the Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States, admonished to draw near and give their attention, for this court is now sitting.
As the judges take their seats, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Now, a small bakery became a national question. Could the government compel artistic expression? Do religious beliefs limit public business obligations? And where is the line between equality and freedom? In 2018, the court ruled in a 7-2 decision in Philip's favor, but narrowly. They did not settle on the big constitutional debate. Instead, they focused on one critical fact. The Colorado Civil Rights Commission had shown hostility towards Philip's religious beliefs, including a commissioner comparing his reasoning to justification for slavery and the Holocaust. The court said the Constitution requires religious neutrality. Because that standard had been violated, the ruling against him was overturned. In dissent, Justice Ginsburg, joined by Sotomayor, argued that the commissioner's remarks did not change the central fact. Philip had denied a wedding cake to a same-sex couple in violation of the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act. She stressed that other bakers had refused specific messages, not customers, and warned that allowing this distinction risked weakening equal access protection. The court spoke 7-2. Their ruling did not settle the deeper questions. They did not define where faith ends and equality begins. Instead, they focused on one detail: the commission's hostility towards Philip's beliefs. The words, the tone, the comparisons. That alone decided the case. Justice, partial. Clarity, absent. Now, picture yourself in that moment. You are the baker. A request comes in, simple on the surface, yet carrying a deeper meaning. A cake, a message, a principle. Something ordinary, yet tied to something deeply human. You pause, aware that whatever you decide will reach beyond the cake itself. Do you refuse, holding on to your conscience and beliefs? Or do you accept, knowing that refusal will not just deny a service, but could also wound, exclude, and quietly deny someone what they're asking for? Now, imagine yourself as the couple, standing on the edge of your wedding day, on the verge of something meant to honor love, commitment, and belonging. You are refused not just a cake, but recognition, equality, respect. Your love treated like something unworthy of celebration. Do you walk away, Find another baker and carry that silent heart, honoring the baker's beliefs? Or do you rise, fight, insist that your love be acknowledged and affirmed on your terms? Who are you in this story? The one refusing, the one seeking, or the one left wondering where freedom ends and equality begins? The Supreme Court left it unanswered. But now the question is yours. What would you do?
This court is your court, this court is my court. From the trial court to the appellate court, from the open sessions to the chambers of